It was like exactly a year ago.
Yeah, yeah. That was almost that's in a couple of days. It's like a year ago.
We'll know we're out of the woods when we start being able to go to concerts.
Yeah, just anything in with large crowd. It's different. It's not the same when you do it on Zoom. All right, I think we've got a good amount of people. Let me see. All right, we got a couple of extras as well. Awesome. Chris, are you ready to get started?
Yep, we are live streaming right now.
All right, perfect. Welcome everybody to Yam's weekly community call every Thursday, 7 p.m. UTC. Your host here is Fedus. I am in charge of operations and treasury. This call goes up every week, so just stay tuned and join us if you can. It's posted on Discord every week, about 15 minutes before it gets started. But the link is actually always usually the same, so you can use the same Zoom link. And Chris here will be posting this video up on YouTube shortly. All right, so before we get into the agenda, I'd like to introduce, have any community members, new community members come in and introduce themselves if they want. Just a quick background, what kind of drew them into Yam, and if what their interest in is with Yam is. If I know John is new, the VDM one is new as well. If you guys would like to introduce yourself, that would be great. Oh, we also got James and Tom.
Sure, I'll start off. So I've been on a couple calls and I have definitely been more involved in the Discord in the last week or two. The name's Jono, the VDM1, and yeah, just excited to be here. Looking forward to contributing. I come from a background of asset management and wealth management, so I think the most value I can add can be to the DAO House products that Fedus and Theo are currently heading up. And yeah, it's just a really exciting project, much like everything that Yam's got going on. That's just a quick summary for me.
Awesome. Welcome, Jono. I did have a chance to
Thanks,
speak
Fedus.
with Jono in DM private chat and just kind of catching him up to speed with Bauhaus, and he's got a lot of experience in the wealth management field, and I'm super excited to get him on board to help us out with the expansion of Bauhaus. There's a huge product market fit for it, and I'll go into it a little bit later, so I won't take up all this time. But yeah, I am definitely excited to have you on board. Good to see you, Jono.
Thanks, Fedus.
James, Tom, or John, if you'd like to introduce yourself, please do so. Or Mohammed, if you'd like to introduce yourself. Sorry. See if I'm missing anybody else. Am I missing anybody else?
Hi, yeah, I'm James. I'm all very new to this whole Yam world, and just started watching the Discord and watching over some of the old documents. And my background is in like film and I guess marketing film, so making videos and commercials and content that would help make people more aware of what's going on. Yeah, and just excited to learn more.
Awesome. Welcome, James. Glad to have you. If you don't already know, a lot of the current contributors are all previously community members. So that's kind of how the DAO is built. The team is built. It's through community members just participating, helping out, and just trying to see if they like something, go with it, run with it. A lot of the current community members didn't have a task or a specific a job for them to do. They just kind of took something and contributed, helped out, and added value to Yam, and eventually they became team members. Anybody else would like to introduce themselves?
Hi, everybody. My name is John. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So been following the project for about 6 months or so. Come from a software development background, kind of just listening and seeing what's going on. Look forward to, getting in the community and see how things turn out.
Awesome. Welcome, John. Glad to have you here. Anybody else? Tom, Mohammed? Otherwise,
Yeah, I love how many people are on this call right now. So happy to see all you guys.
yeah, it's growing for sure. All right. If nobody else, I will move forward. Otherwise, you can also, at the end of the call, if you feel like it, you can definitely introduce yourself. But we'd like to get these out of the way in case the call runs long. So let's move forward. Governance, there's no current governance votes at the moment, but things will be coming up soon as we move forward. Just in case if you didn't know already, if you want to vote on Snapshot, you have to register first. So that does require an on-chain transaction. But after that, when you vote on Snapshot, it's no cost. It just requires you to have a certain amount, or it requires you to have YAM in your wallet. On-chain voting proposals, Nate just put this up a couple of days ago and it has passed. It's essentially the couple of snapshots that we already passed earlier with the rewards, UMA rewards distribution, UGAS liquidity migration to UGAS June. So we're moving March's liquidity to June's liquidity, and then also adding liquidity to UStonks. We're provisioning about 900,000 USDC into UStonks, and that's going to help boost the whole market as a whole. Any questions on governance items?
Not a question, just something that has come up, I think, last week, and that is effectively an airdrop by UMA, the so-called KPI options. And the interesting thing is that people who participated in snapshot votes on YAM qualified for these airdrops. So anybody who holds YAM needs or should register their vote and participate in snapshot votes, because you never know what other project is going to drop their tokens to these governance participants.
Yep, that's excellent, because there's a lot of these projects. Actually, one of them earlier was Badger. So if you were lucky enough to get an airdrop from them, it's actually worth quite a bit of cash, even if you just voted once. So there is definitely a cost, especially to the on-chain voting. But even the snapshots are free. I mean, except for that one-time registration. So it's worthwhile to do it. And also, the whole point of YAM as a token is really a governance token. So we like your input. We want your input, and we want your votes to kind of solidify what the direction that YAM wants to move in. So yeah, definitely please vote. Those KPI options actually could be worth quite a bit of money if you look at there's a Medium article that explains what it could be worth depending on the growth of UMA. And guess what? We're going to grow UMA. We're going to grow degen.finance as well. And we're already doing it. So with that, the growth being said, Theo, why don't you go into the KPIs of degen finance just recently?
Yeah, I'd love to. So we're now about 2.5 days into UStonks and UGAS June. And the results have been fantastic. The collateral locked, also known as TVL, for UStonks is about $3.3 million and $0.7 million for UGAS June. So all in, we attracted $4 million, which in comparison to other more established projects might sound small, but we have to look where we're coming from, and we were never anywhere close the $1 million mark for UGAS, Jan, or Feb. So this is a significant improvement compared to what we did previously, and I think shows quite nicely that with certain marketing campaign and a focused effort, we can attract. Oh, Fed is moving on. We can attract investors, SINS sponsors. The SINS market cap is about $1 million for UStonks and $0.2 million for UGAS. And generally speaking, system is healthy, which is great. Because at the beginning, we were a little bit worried that maybe some Degans really YOLO into UStonks, push up the price, push up the 2-hour TWAP, but it hasn't really happened yet. Nevertheless, if you have an open position, make sure to check your collateral ratio probably 3 times a day, morning, midday, evening, just to be sure. and have a little bit of fun in the process. Yeah, and so the wider implications for the SINs that we're creating is obviously the more SINs we have through Degen Finance, the more UMA rewards we're getting through the generic developer mining scheme. Last time I checked, UMA had $30 million. So $1 million out of $30 million is about 3%. Probably even more, because of the extra 0.2 million from you guys. So that is great. That means more rewards coming to us. Keep in mind, next week and the week after, the YAM and UMA rewards will push up the APR even more. They will double it. So ideally, we can grow these numbers even more. And then ultimately, the reason why we will also focus on these KPIs going forward is because they ultimately provide the basis on how Degen Finance might create revenues, right? By switching on a fee further down the line. We're not going to do this immediately because right now we need to solve for adoption, but ultimately those numbers offer a path for Degen Fi to ultimately generate revenues to operate sustainably. Over to you, Fedis.
Thank you, Theo. Yes, this is exciting stuff. The numbers, total lock value is going up. The synth market cap is going up. Our rewards are going up. It's looking really good. On top of that, what's coming down the pipe as well is our V2 website, and we've got an excellent team working on it. Indigo and Bloku-chan is starting to develop and design. I'm going to let Indigo take it away and tell you what progress he's made so far.
Hey, so the V2 website is going well. We have a few of the display components have been done from Bloku. He's I can't show you, but the designs are really, really nice. So I'm really excited about that. And yeah, so we have some of the components made, and I'm working on the logic, making a better testing framework so we can move a little faster in the future, although it's a little slow right now, but I'm confident it'll help us later. There's not much else. I mean, it's just development. It's pretty boring, but yeah, it's coming along nicely.
Awesome. Yeah. So Indigo and Bloku are doing a fantastic job at it. It's looking really nice. The interface is going to be smoother. We've worked out a lot of pain points on the V1 website. Some of the stuff it could be better, which is exactly what we're working on for V2. So, keep up to date with this. We're looking at an April launch, mid-April, mid to late. We'll update you if it moves a little faster, which it's looking like it might. Indigo and Bloku are putting a lot of time and effort into this. So we're definitely going to get it out to you as soon as we can. But we definitely want to test it and make sure that everything works properly. Moving forward, anything else to add, Indigo?
Nope, that's it.
All right, perfect. So synthetics, stonks. I know Theo just went over the KPIs, but just as a reminder, a couple of awesome things that are happening. The limited release NFT airdrop. So our marketing team, Bruce, has created these really, really cool looking, fun and hilarious bonus NFTs, which there will be only 100 NFTs minted. There's actually a couple of rare ones that are mixed in there. So you'll find out soon as soon as Bruce and a marketing team is ready to reveal it. But you can get these NFTs by minting stonks and LPing. So in order to get the rewards, first and foremost is to mint an LP. So if you're already doing that, you're also in line to receive one of these limited edition NFTs. So you need to mint 10K. You need to use 10K worth of collateral to mint stocks. Let me make sure that's more clear. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Bruce. Okay, so
yep.
Okay, so
and the first 100 users to mint to put in 10,000 USD as collateral, minting at the GCR, and LPing for 3 weeks will get the NFT.
So what that means to you is when you go to our website, degenerate.finance, you click on stonks. If you just put in whatever number of stonks, I think right now it's around 12 because the GCR changes. So if you put in 12 or 13, as long as the number that pops up below it, which is the collateral that you need to put into the contract, as long as that's above 10,000, you're eligible for the NFT airdrop. But you do need to LP for at least 3 weeks, and there are still currently slots available. So definitely, if you want to do that, now's the time, because not only do you get the NFT, you're also eligible for all the rewards that are coming up. So currently, approximately 75 people have met the qualifications, and they haven't staked for 3 weeks yet, or they haven't LP'd for 3 weeks yet. So this number theoretically should drop down if they pull out early or redeem their use stonks early, or whatever may happen. So there's still plenty of room. Definitely get in if you can. These NFTs could possibly be used for other airdrops or other items from Degen Finance or YAM ecosystem. Our marketing team's got a lot of really cool and fun and interesting things coming up. So definitely take a look, see if you can do it, not only just for the rewards, but also for the NFT. Now let's talk about rewards. Currently, it is around 234% APR on minting and LPing. It's probably a little less since Nate screwed it all up. But around 200% APR on minting and LPing, and that's based on your entire collateral amount. So if you mint, if you use 10K worth of USD to mint use stonks, and you pair that with another around 2K, let's just say, 2,000 worth of USD, you're going to get a return of 200% for this next week on $12,000 worth of collateral. So that's 10K plus the 2K. You get a 200% on the whole thing. And not only that, next week, UMA and YAM are doubling their rewards. So it could easily be 400%. And the last but not least, you get the NFT. So definitely take a look at it. For the people that aren't interested in minting and LPing, the index is currently trading. The price of UStonks is currently around $268 versus the index price, which is the underlying value of the stonks that it tracks, which is around $300. Of course, this changes every hour or every minute during the trading day. The US trading day. So just keep an eye on this. You could possibly be able to buy and just hold on to this if the index price ends at a higher price than you bought it at the end of April, you make money from the difference. It settles on that price. All right, so lots of really cool stuff. I definitely recommend you looking into it. Definitely read into the docs, into the guide. There are risks to minting and LPing. Make sure you understand those risks before you do it. Moving on, UGAS June 21. So we've switched to a quarterly contract. So this expires on June 2021, the end of June. And the end of June, it tracks this synthetic will track the last 30-day median gas average. So it will be the last 30 days in June. Currently, if you mint an LP with the additional YAM rewards that we're providing, we're looking at 163% APR on ETH. This does require ETH as a collateral instead of UStonks, which requires USDC. But this, since it requires ETH, you can hold on. You can still be long on your ETH and mint and earn additional APR. So it is very key that you guys understand. Minting and LPing is a net neutral price risk. So if you mint an LP, you're not betting on the price of UGAS going up or down. It's actually neutral, because at the end of the day, when you redeem your position for your ETH back, if you minted 10 UGAS, you have to return 10. So it doesn't matter if UGAS went up or down. There is the impermanent loss risk, which is if you're in an automated moneymaker like Uniswap, which we are, there is a risk of one side going up a lot. But as Theo always says and tries to remind people, UGAS is mean reverting. So what that means is that if it goes up, it will likely go back down, just because gas prices fluctuate up and down. So at the end of the day, it's very possible that you actually make money LPing because of the fees, and ultimately when you redeem, you get APR yield without any risk, and you're long on Ethereum because you're holding that anyways. So next week it'll be even higher, potentially twice as much. Currently, there's a 20% premium on trading. So right now, the price of UGAS June is around 1.5 ETH. Index is probably around 1.4. So you could take some money and short it if you think that UGAS is going down, or the median gas price is going down at the end of June, and vice versa. So you can still make money trading this. UGAS March 21st. Just to let you guys know, we're 11 days into the month. UGAS March is trading at a 20% discount versus the current 30-day median gas average. Possible money earning trade here. So take a look at it. Don't let it slip by. UGAS February, you can settle. It's already expired. You can settle at any time. All you have to do is approve the EMP contract on our website and then settle. UVol BTC will launch on V2 DGen along with some other exciting announcements. APY Vision Synth still in the works. Last but not least, YAM is a collateral on UMA's platform. So we can start developing synths that use YAM as a collateral, which will be coming down the pipe. So it'll be fun stuff. Anything anybody would like to add, Theo?
Nope, nothing to add.
All right. Any questions from anybody? All right. Let's move on then. DAO House. Some exciting stuff coming on here. So if you guys have already seen, the Yam House is up and running. We are looking to build in more functionality to farm and to use those assets more productively. Sushi House proposal is up on their forum, and it's actually getting some really awesome feedback. Some really good questions too. If you want to deep dive into it, you've got the forum there. We've also got a couple of audio like podcasts that I did with the sushi community where they ask questions. I go over kind of what the proposal is all about, what kind of questions they might have, and I answer them. We have those available. Sushi does a YouTube video off of it. So definitely check them out if you want to deep dive. Those are very interesting, and it gets great feedback as we move forward and develop DAO House. It's not a set in stone product. It's really a fluctuating, like growing, evolving product, and it's really cool to get this feedback from people that are interested in it. So if you guys have anything as well, please let us know. So the current polls support a $10 million investment in Sushi House, which includes a 3% investment in YAM for their house. So one of the fee models that we have for DAO House, and this is a developing item. It could be more or less or different in the future. But for specifically Sushi House, what we ask is, hey, we're going to build this Sushi House for you and help you get it started and figure out all the pieces so that if you want to use your own portfolio manager, you can use your own portfolio manager. We'll set it up. But for us to set it up, what we would like in return is an investment in YAM. So they're going to buy 3% of YAM from this $10 million. And number one, this $10 million is just a start. They've got about 280, I don't know, it fluctuates by millions every minute. But they've got around $280 million worth of sushi in their treasury. And their first investment in Sushi House is only 10 million. So it's not a lot. Our goal is to actually get them up to a third of their Sushi House or the sushi treasury into the Sushi House. But by the way we're going to do that is we're going to prove to them and show them how Sushi House works and why it's so beneficial. And that's kind of our growth plan with them. So 3% investment of 10 million, not a lot, but not bad either. But if we can grow it to 50 million, now that's a significant amount of YAM. If we can add on other DAOs in their treasuries, that becomes even more significant. It really is a fantastic product market fit, and I'm super excited about it. Jono is coming on to help us out with some of the mid office stuff where the analytics are involved, the how to structure it, how to make sure that this matches with the goals that we're trying to achieve. Some really awesome stuff. So Krugman is also going to right now the poll ask for Krugman as their portfolio manager. So part of this is another fee that Yam will be receiving. Currently it's set at 1%. So what's going to happen is 1% is going to be streamed to Yam, and then part of that's going to go to Krugman for his work, consistent efforts into managing it, in making reports, et cetera, and then part of it's going to go into Yam House. So 1% of 10 million a year is not a lot, but definitely adds up quickly if you've got a couple of these and a couple bigger accounts. So next stop is the snapshot proposal, which should go up sometime in the next couple of days. Either I'm going to do it or we're going to have one of the core team in Sushi post it up for us. If you do see it, we'll post it up on Discord. Make sure you vote. If you have Sushi and it's sitting in your wallet, make sure you vote for it because it supports the Yam community. We're also discussing different houses with different potential DAOs. So lots of stuff coming up, lots of things very interesting. Looking forward to what's happening on DAO House, and we'll keep you up to date. Any questions on the DAO House? Any comments anybody would like to make?
It's less of a question, it's more of an observation, which I think is super interesting. On the call with Sushi, somebody said, okay, if we have a certain amount of Yam in our Sushi house, like what's the point? Why should we have that, right? And so that's effectively an invitation to pitch Yam. And I just love that because we have the opportunity, of course, to sell DAO House treasury management as a service to generate revenues for Yam. But at the same time, people give us a platform to pitch them, right? They say, why should we care about Yam? And then all of a sudden we have the platform to say, Yam is working on this. We're building out DGen-Fi. We're building out this. Treasury is growing. And then all of a sudden we get the attention of big other DAO communities and potential future investors. It's a great side effect.
Yeah, definitely the synergies in DAO House is one of the key pieces that is actually a value add for Yam and DAO House, because theoretically anybody can manage their own treasury. So why do it through DAO House? Well, there's a number of different benefits, but one of the big ones is the synergies that we can create between different products. If you've been in DeFi long enough, you've noticed that Yearn or XYZ DeFi protocol they collaborate. We're collaborating a ton. Why not keep doing it? Because ultimately you're building on top of each other and you're helping each other out. And this is one of the the core values of Yam finance is this collaborative nature of DeFi. Anything anybody else would like to add? Otherwise, I'm gonna.
Yeah, no, I think that's hey, this is Tom. I think it's a great point, Theo and Fedis. It kind of just makes me think that a lot of the marketing focus is B2C, so to speak, business to consumer or DAO to investor in this case. But that synergy of liaising directly with other DAOs, and like you said, the brand awareness that creates also kind of means that you need a B2C or a business to company, or in this case, DAO to DAO strategy. B2B, sorry. So
yeah,
pretty exciting.
D to D, DAO to DAO now.
Yep, D to D and D to I.
Exactly. All right, anybody else? Anything anybody else would like to add? Otherwise, I'm going to let Nonstop Theo take over for the Umbrella protocol update.
Yes, Umbrella. So a couple of things. And by the way, we had an AMA today on the Discord. You can see that. Go to the channel. And obviously, there were a couple of questions around Umbrella. And some of these answers here that I'm going to talk now are taken from that. So we had the audit, had a couple of comments on PackShield. The devs have implemented them. So that's good. On the UI side, so we realized one thing. We realized that we have a fantastic setup at the moment in terms of developer resources, branding, vision that we're putting into place for DGen 5. And now we said to ourselves, you know what? It makes more sense to leverage those existing brand ideas, meaning everything we're doing for degenerative finance, we can pretty much copy paste for Umbrella, not in a direct one-to-one sense in terms of the colors or the designs, but more in terms of the tech framework, the way we go about building it, the people who are building it, making sure we don't double up on processes and have separate teams building separate things, right? But effectively having the same people build the same thing, which makes a lot of sense in terms of just managing the whole process. So that is one thing that we realized, and one of the operational paths that we're going down. So in that sense, this means that the UI is being designed. We're having a lot of conversations also around the branding direction. If you look around the insurance landscape in crypto today, you have things like Nexus, Cover, Armor, and in how far will Umbrella compare to that, right? Are we something that's that's perceived to be defensive and dark and kind of a big tower, or are we more like the friendly protocol that is approachable, open? This kind of a comparison. If you look at traditional finance and you look at a Lemonade app versus your old school insurance company, which is pretty much working with like faxes and letters. So in that sense, we're also working really hard on making sure we have a brand that is adopted by users. Now, specifically talking about the products, and one thing we also did in February is we looked at the landscape and we asked ourselves, well, if we launch now on Ethereum mainnet, would people actually start buying Cover, right? Because a lot of people might buy really, really small tickets, or the premium that they're paying might be $10, $12, $15 each. Obviously, it sums up if many people do it, but for one individual, that might just be a very small ticket. And if transaction fees are very high, then they wouldn't do it. So one of the things that came out of this review is, okay, we should probably launch on L2. L2 is obviously a very hot topic right now. All the big protocols are looking at different options, and so do we. And we want to make sure we would deploy on an L2 where other big protocols launch, so that there is liquidity and the user base already has funds on that, on that layer 2. In terms of the general product development and some of the things that came out after we talked with some of the larger crypto VC funds and how they see the market is there is an opportunity to build insurance products for the longer tail of projects, meaning we don't just focus on the top 10 DeFi products, but also on the smaller ones. Up and coming yield farming protocols, which have significant risk. Maybe they have unproven teams, but you have users and they want to use these protocols, and there's a clear market need. Another opportunity would be to really offer Umbrella as this permissionless insurance as a service almost product, where we go to another protocol and say, look, your users want to have insurance, you don't get capacity on Nexus or Cover, but you know what? We give you the technology. You can bootstrap your own pools, which your users use. You can even incentivize that pool with your own token, right? And that would allow us to create adoption, create traffic, create total value locked. But we don't have to put up a significant amount of our own tokens. And so it would make the whole thing a little bit easier. And then the last thing, insurance as a service, which follows the similar logic as giving Umbrella to other protocols, but probably even more in the logic of DAO house and treasury management as a service, where we can talk to these DAOs and we say, look, you want to have your own insurance pool. You want to take care also of the arbitration and how it's governed and how the payouts are governed. It's fine. We've built the technology. We can do plug and play for you. And now the interesting thing, coming back to Fedas's and Thomas' comments, is we are already talking to these other DAOs, right? We're talking to these other DAOs about DAO House. So we obviously need to make sure we're not throwing too many things into the ring at the same time. So right now we're talking about DAO House, and these other DAOs understand that YAM is building DAO to DAO products. So there will be nothing that keeps us from then offering Umbrella as an insurance as a service project or a product further down the road. So again, there's lots of optionality here. Umbrella is ongoing. The team is working on it. We want to make sure we're building a great product. We don't want to just push something out and then it's half baked and we're not happy about it. And kind of seeing how we are building things around the generative. We've kind of learned our lessons to really streamline the process and have something that we built once and from then on can easily iterate and maintain.
Yeah.
So any questions, any comments?
Just a comment to add on to what Theo is saying is that there is an interesting potential here for insurance as a service. Imagine if you could go to a DAO and say a new DAO that's coming into the space and they're trying to get started, they're bootstrapping, but they have this insurance concern where they would like to have insurance on their protocol. Imagine if we could build a factory or a solution to that where, hey, we won't give YAM incentives to do it, but if you give your own incentives to have people provide coverage or provide funds to build an insurance pool, we'll set it up, we'll fix it, and we'll make it work. And the providers will have an incentive to add liquidity into the coverage, and then once there's liquidity, you can have buyers to buy the coverage. Essentially, it's a self-functioning market. That in itself is a big potential for a product market fit. That we're not going to launch with that, but that's definitely something that could be possible with the contracts that we're working with. So it's definitely a long-term vision, but there's an interesting synergy between this and DAO House, what we're doing. So lots of potential. Anybody any questions? Like to add anything? All right, moving on. So just quickly, the treasury changed from last week. Last week it was at 6 million at this time. Now it's at 6.68. So a nice 10% bump. As you know, our crypto is fairly volatile. So if it goes up, it can also go down. So, but at this point in time, our treasury has been growing fairly nicely, fairly secure. And it's also not at the same time while it's growing, it's yield farming. So we've got a lot of things going on with the treasury. To keep up to date on it, you can just go to our website, check out the dashboard that 0xe has created. It looks really nice. You can download the data as well if you need to. And the most important piece of all this is the media marketing side. Bruce, designer, Nonstop Theo, I'll let you guys take it away.
Yo guys, so the spotlight this week has been on UStonks. We've been creating material to help uplift the launch. Our goal is to make UStonks and all UMA synthetics fun and easy to use. So we've been working on a user guide, some Medium articles, some tweet threads on how to optimize your UStonk usage, and we're going to share an FAQ soon, as well as details on our NFT. Behind the scenes, we're also developing some fun future synthetics for degenerative finance. Some of these synthetics are focused on emerging asset classes like streetwear, sneakers, crypto art, video game metaverse stuff. We'll share details on that soon. We still have our DeFi stocks giveaway happening right now. Basically, we want to give a pair of DeFi stocks to the best tweet focused on DAOHAUS, Ustongs, or UGAS. Hype those up. Behind the scenes, we're also pushing hard on the Umbrella launch. We're undergoing a design workshop, developing our brand identity visually and with messaging. We really want to make Umbrella stand apart in the DeFi protection space, and so we want to enrichen the Umbrella brand and deepen its narrative as much as possible. We're doing this workshop behind the scenes right now, and we'll hopefully share stuff with you guys next week for feedback. And we're also workshopping the Umbrella UI with the entire team to make the process as smooth as possible, so we have a successful Umbrella UI launch. Jim?
I think one of the really great features here, and really shout out to you, Bruce, is all the designs and the graphics around Ustongs. I've been getting a bunch of messages saying that people really feel attracted to the product because of the visuals.
Hey, I totally concur with that. Actually, the Bruce Theo team's been just killing it, as well as the developers. So I just am really impressed with that launch. Yeah, I wanted just to piggyback a little bit on Umbrella. The push is to get the Umbrella site identity developed and designed, put in for the developers to be able to use that to build out the site. And then as they're building out the site, we're going to be developing a marketing plan. So the marketing plan is how to get out in front of our target, first defining the target market and user, how to get in front of them and start driving traffic. But at the same time, going through a larger, let's say, more strategic initiative on how to get the most uptake for Umbrella with the least amount of running on in the squirrel cage. So this harkens back to what Theo was just talking about, and also Fedis, about how we go to market and who we go to market to. And so by going to market with a strategy, multi-pronged strategy that is both, and Tom was talking about this, consumer-based or retail-based, as well as a strategy for business-to-business play. Business-to-business plays allow us to sell once and get benefit to a whole bunch of users, whereas the retail play is a little bit more of a shotgun approach and sometimes is harder, but we don't really know what's going to work best, so we want to go with a double barrel shotgun, I guess. Then the marketing executions will follow from that. So I'd say that the marketing team is mostly focused and will be on this for several weeks going forward now.
And then just from my side, just around visualization of data. So the Dune dashboard, we have a community member, Helge, who's been working on this. We've mentioned it a couple of times in the past. And obviously that Dune dashboard will look significantly better with these, recent rollout of Ustongs and UGAS and much better numbers. Unfortunately, Dune is doing some changes to their visualization tools, and we don't, we have no impact, no influence on that. So this will wait a little bit. But in the meantime, obviously the data is available on chain. The links are available in this document, so you can verify that yourself. Data analytics and insights will become a fixed feature of version 2 of Degenerative Finance. And then hopefully once this Dune update has happened, Helge can update the contracts, the numbers, and then you're going to have a really great one-stop shop to keep yourself updated on how well the products are performing.
All right, any other questions or comments for the marketing team? All right. Any questions or comments for anything?
Hey, it's Tom again. So, marketing team, I'm gonna throw some, I'll drop it in the Discord. We'll talk real quick, but probably throw another like 30, 45 minutes on the calendar sometime to regroup on what we talked about last week and see where we can go from there.
Looking forward to it.
Sweet.
Awesome, Tom. Thank you.
All right. Any other community questions, comments? Anything anybody would like to add? Otherwise, we're going to wrap this community meeting up. These graphics are awesome. Bruce has done the graphics for, just as before we wrap it all up, just as a side, Bruce did all the graphics for Dowhouse as well. And if you notice, Dowhouse has like a kind of a unique look to it. It's very different than what these graphics are. It's primarily due to the name Dowhouse, which is a play off of Bauhaus. And it's a 1920s art movement, German art movement. You'll see a lot of influence on current building architecture. But so it's a big movement back in the 1920s that influenced a lot of architecture up till today. So all the icons on Dowhouse are kind of have that motif, and we're building other icons for like Sushi House. Bruce created an icon specifically for them, and it's like a very Japanese looking house with like the moon as because each one of them has a moon. It has a sushi in the moon for sushi to moon. So really, really cool, fun stuff. Hopefully we'll get all the other Dow houses their own icons, and it'll just be a really cool looking project. But anyways, so wrapping it up, we're going to do this again next week, same time, same place. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us on DGen or on Discord, and we'll speak to you then. Thank you everybody for attending and joining.
Thank you
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Great work. Yep.
All right. I'll catch you guys on Discord.